Hello everybody, Rob Megas here, welcoming you to another tier list. We haven't done one of these in a good while, and I thought with the release of Coral Island for early access, if you were a Kickstarter backer, this would be the perfect time to go through the Bachelorettes and the Bachelors and kind of give my take on which ones I think are the best versus which ones are kinda based on looks. Starting off, we have Alice. This is a character that I think is pretty basic. You have the traditional blonde hair. All of her styles are very conservative, very traditional. She, kind of just is very there. There's nothing really exciting about the design, nothing that really jumps out at me. I do love the facial features that they use for her, at least in the concept art. Now, of course, a lot of these will be 3D models, so there's going to be a little bit of difference from the concept to the 3D. Overall, I think she's very meh. There's nothing that sets her apart. It just has a very normal look. Next up, we have Ava. And Ava is kind of one of those characters. I love the look of her design. I think that even though it's very basic in the sense there's nothing that really sets it too out from, honestly, Alice, she has a little bit more flair to her styling. There's a little bit more nuances to her. It's not a completely traditional look. I do think the character concept art is very much that traditional girl that you could bring home to your parents. Very cute. Once again, she doesn't really stand out as a character that makes me go, wow, this is a great character, but she's still pretty good. Honestly, I would put her above Alice because I just believe the character is has a little bit more flair to it. Next up, we have Leah. This is a girl that, I'll be honest, this is not at all one of my favorite looking characters. I think in the idea of them trying to go out of the bounds with this character design, they've kind of made her look mean, if that makes sense. Very much a B word. She has that very uppity, sophisticated look to her character art and design. Almost that unapproachable, that very stay away from this character. Overall, her fashion stuff comes off a lot better than some of the other characters, which I do believe is supposed to portray that she's kind of a fashionista or something. But the facial expressions they have for her, it just looks very, very, very unapproachable. So honestly, if the 3D model I think isn't a lot better, I'm honestly going to put her in a really, I just do not like this character design whatsoever. Next up, we have Lily. Oh my gosh, when I first saw this game, this was the character that honestly made me immediately go, I'm going for that girl. And I think the main nuance reason is just the fact she has that very nerdy look to her. One of her costumes actually has a sweater that says hacker. And I mean, I'm a sucker for the sophisticated, nerdy, smart girls. So this is a little biased on my end. I do think that her character design, very basic, very traditionally Asian inspired. I don't really think there's a lot of key differences between her. I mean, overall, she's just has a very normal look. But unfortunately for everybody, I'm putting her as one of the best girls. I think I love this character design, even though it is so basic. Next up, we have Macy. This is a weird character for me. I actually really don't care for the design too much. I don't know why. It's just very, once again, a lot of these characters, they're trying to keep it within the realm of realism, and I understand that. Overall, she has a very touristy look, but for some reason in her concept art, she has a blue lobster, and I don't know what that's about, and that interests me. And I think I'm more interested in the blue lobster than I am in her character design. I still think it's a very well done character. I think the art's pretty well done for it. I like it, but she's honestly, I think she's gonna be a meh for me. Just not really much going on with it that makes me excited. Next up, we have Millie. Now, when I immediately saw this character design, I assumed this would be some sort of librarian, just based on the old traditional clothing that she wears. I was like, well, she's gonna be a librarian. She has to be. And yep, she is a librarian. I'm going to be honest, I hate this character design. I really do. This is a very, hey, she's a librarian. I can't imagine her being exciting later on down the road. I don't know what, unless I'm hoping her events later in the game would be just amazing and really add a lot of like fringes to this character. But overall, I hate this design. I don't like the look of the clothing. I really just, I don't know. It's very, I don't even know if it's, you know what, I'm putting her in really, like, this is bad. I don't like this character. They could have added a little bit more modernism to her clothing, just to give her a little bit more of a spark. Any sort of accessorizing of this would have made her better. And it's just not there. Next up, we have Nina. This is, oh my gosh, this is one of my absolute favorite girls. And you can already tell where she's going to go on this list. This is one of my favorite girls. I actually really like her design. She has the flair with the clothing. It's the very island girl centric. Her look, the mannerisms that they have for her expressions really work well. She seems like a character that will have the ability to have growth. And I think that's amazing. I like her design. Everything with this is great. She's got a little bit of accessorizing, not too much. Keeps it very traditional looking. Amazing. This is probably one of my favorite. I'm actually going to put her, even though I really like her, I'm gonna put her up above that. I think Nina's gonna be an amazing, amazing character, and I hope that the events surrounding her do justice. All right, so next up we have Suki. If you can't guess, this is Alice's sister, twin sister. Whereas Alice seems to be more of the traditional girl, Suki has more of the I'm a workout fitness guru style. And if you've ever met a lot of fitnessy girls that do more of the fitness with yoga pants, the sports bra, that kind of stuff, you're going to end up with the kind of flair of dyed hair, that kind of stuff. I'm hoping that her personality in the game won't come off as off-putting, but based on this just being strictly looks, you're getting Alice with a little bit more coloring to the hair and just a different shade of basically profession. I like her. This is a tough one for me because while she is different and unique than Alice, my main point of contention with her is I feel like this will be very one-dimensional. I do feel like she will end up being a very fit into the fitness realm, and her whole life is going to be about fitness. Now, I'm obviously just basing this off of the concept art, and I worry that's going to push it into a corner that's going to be every single event, whereas Alice seems more like a blank slate, where her profession doesn't define her. So overall, I do think Suki's great. I'm just not sure how that's going to go. I actually did have to look this up to see what her occupation was, and it says that she's an inn owner. Very interesting. I'm not really too sure how that'll work. I still like her. I'm gonna put her a little bit... I might actually just put her in the eh. I don't know. Right off the bat, her look and stuff just doesn't really do much for me. So next up, we have Yuri. Wow, this is a really good design. So she's the doctor on the island. This is pretty unique. This is not what you expect when you see a doctor. Normally you're so used to them being clean cut, clean shaven, no tattoos, no piercings. At least where I go to the doctor. She's kind of got the look of like a tattoo artist, and honestly, if you put her in that style of clothing, I would think that's what she did. But the fact that she's a doctor, I'm really interested in this character. I'm really interested in seeing what they're going to do with her events, because she doesn't fit the traditional doctor look. The other fact is, by the concept art, I mean, her expressions are really well done. She has a lot more feeling behind her expressions than a lot of the other girls. Some of the expressions of them just kind of comes off as very mild. Hers is really interesting, and I do think that I love the green hair. I love how she's actually probably one of the most different looking characters. I like her. I like Yuri a lot. I think, man, see, this is tough. Oh, I don't know if I like her. Oh my gosh, I like Nina better. Just slightly. So let's go ahead. Let's go with her being as one of the best girls. I do think she's great. Now, the last character, I'm not honestly sure how they're going to pronounce the name. I don't know if it's Zara or if it's like more of a Sarah. I think it's Zara. I'm gonna go with Zara. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This is weird. She has a pilot look to her. I understand that her occupation is treasure hunter. Once again, had to look that up. And I'm not really too sure how I feel about this character. The design is alright. The clothing is awful. Once again, it falls into the issue that Suki has. Suki gives off this look that her entire thing is defined by her profession. And Zara has this basic look of, hey, I am a treasure hunter. Guess what? That defines everything. I think she's okay. I don't think she's bad. I just don't think she's great. She's coming off as a very character to me. So I think that's where she's going to go, is the eh. So here we have it. We have the list of the Bachelorette portion. I was originally going to do both the Bachelorettes and Bachelors together, but this video is running a little bit long. So we will do a part 2 with the Bachelors themselves. But let me know, do you guys agree with this list? Do you think the people I put in the top, bottom, all that are in the respective places? Or did I go a little bit too overboard? And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, a subscribe, and let me know. And until next time, this is Red Mega saying I'll catch you later.